Hi, I'm Mike Crab.
And I'm Laurie Schultz. Welcome to the show.
We'll have some caffeinated conversation.
And maybe some special guests along the way.
Who knows where the conversation will go? You're out for coffee with Mike and Laurie. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year, and welcome to a new episode of Out for Coffee.
With Mike and Laurie.
Good morning, Laurie.
Hello. So I was asleep at the switch there. Sorry, I'm still in last year.
Oh, I'm glad you caught up. How are you?
Thanks. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. It's it feels like it's been a while since we've chatted, but it's only been a couple weeks, but it's just I feel like the holiday was so busy that it feels like a while since we've gotten together.
It has been a while. It's been at least since last year.
You're not wrong. That is 100%.
I know. I never get tired of hearing that, Michael.
You're that person, eh?
Oh, the fact that I'm not wrong. I never get tired of hearing that. Thank you. And
I meant you're the person who always has to point out that,
yes,
that last year was a matter of days ago.
Yes. You know, I'm the person on New Year's Day who's like, I haven't eaten since last year.
We all know one of those people.
Lame.
Laurie's happy to be that person.
I will wear the hat. I'll take one for the team.
Atta girl. Did you have a nice holiday?
I had a very interesting holiday.
Why was it interesting?
I was bitten by the zombie.
Oh no. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling better.
Oh, good.
I'm now the undead. So
your dreams are coming true.
My dreams are coming true. Yes. No, it was a holiday full of sickness, but we're good now.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that.
All good now. And, it's just the asthma. So I will cough a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry. It's just the after effects for someone who has asthma could be very long term. So
right.
I will be wheezing forever.
If it's too much, I'll just kick you off the show. It's fine.
That's fine. It's time for me to go it alone anyway, Mike. It's my solo album.
Oh no. What have I done? I'm not ready.
Remember what happened to Sonny when he and Cher split up?
Actually, no, he went skiing. That's all I remember.
And then he died.
Oh, no.
So you might want to think twice about trying to kick me off the show, Mike.
What was the last thing Sonny said? Oh, fuck a tree. Is that inappropriate?
It might be.
Oh, no.
At least I didn't say it.
No.
Send your hate mail too.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Oh, no. All right. To Sonny.
To Sonny.
There we go.
Oh, man. You know,
well,
I have to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
After we talked about the Tina Turner thing last year,
Mm-hmm.
I watched, when my niece came home from college, we watched What's Love Got to Do with It.
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
No. Now it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a documentary biodoc kind of, like it's actors playing her, right? It's scripted.
Angela Bassett.
Right.
Playing Tina Turner and Lawrence Fishburne playing Ike.
Oh.
It is such a great movie. It's hard to watch. I mean, there's a lot of violence. It's I don't want anybody to watch it thinking, "Ooh, this is going to be sweet." It's not. It's hard to watch, but
right.
The acting was so great.
The storytelling in it is yes. Beautiful, despite the fact that there's some heavy topics within the story.
Yes, and all I could think about was, I wonder if Angela Bassett's legs are insured.
Did you Google it? Do we get Rob on it? I
didn't Google it because I had enough.
Well, she is a very beautiful woman. I have never seen that movie. Now, do you have this on DVD or something?
I don't. It's on Disney Plus of all places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I watched it. But speaking of DVD,
yeah.
Remember all last year, I'm like, my DVD player is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
Did you get a DVD player?
No.
Okay, what?
It was unplugged.
Oh, no. So this is adding up to all the tech issues that we've experienced from last year. We could have just told you to plug it in.
I used to do tech support, believe it or not.
Those poor people.
And I used to make fun of the people who were like, but it's the power button. It won't go on. Well, is it plugged in? No. And I am them.
Well, I think we could just say it's a use it or lose it skill, maybe.
It wasn't plugged in for a whole year, Mike. And I've been crying about, I can't watch this movie and I don't have a DVD player. And tonight, as I was trying to resolve our current tech issues, I saw this plug on the floor and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I plugged it in and all of a sudden my DVD player lit up. And I went,
oh, the heavens lit up. And
I didn't get a chance to watch Bill Murray in Scrooged this Christmas season because I couldn't stream it anywhere. And I'm like, well, my DVD player's broken. I can't watch it.
Well, clearly it wasn't a Merry Christmas without your Scrooged. I know that's your go-to Christmas movie.
It's my go-to. It is my favorite.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
So what we are kind of saying is we have Rob to thank for fixing your DVD player. Everyone say hi to Rob. Let's
Hi, Rob.
get him out here for a second.
Happy New Year, Rob.
Happy New Year, Rob. How are you?
I am well. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to both of you.
I saw you laughing there, Rob, on the screen when I said it wasn't plugged in.
Yeah,
I saw you.
I was biting my tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I totally understand that. It happens to the best of us.
I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot.
It's the way it goes sometimes. There's no getting around it.
Well, I will say really quickly that I'm sure our audience knows that, Laurie has had a few internet, like the connectivity has been kind of like over the past year. No fault to her own. She even upgraded her internet and it's still kind of like laggy at times. And she has had enough. And she said, I am hardwire plugging directly into the internet so that we don't have to use Wi-Fi. And so we're ready to go. And her internet is not. So Rob had to go on a little field trip over to Laurie's to help her out, which resulted in a very productive visit then.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All done and dusted, as they say.
Oh,
which is why I'm coming to you live from my kitchen now.
a little closer to the router, eh?
That's right.
We'll do every room in the house eventually, I'm sure.
A tour.
A tour.
I guess I should have left you that 50-foot cable.
It's okay, Rob. I probably would have lost it. All 50 feet of it. It's fine.
No worries.
It's fine.
Did you have a nice holiday, Rob?
Yes, we had a great holiday. As a matter of fact, of course, my grandkids were here to visit.
Oh, nice.
I think a lot of folks in the show know that my son and his wife travel full time in an RV, and they sort of make the rounds every so often to drop in on Grandma and Grandpa. And
That's
so
awesome.
they were here over Christmas. And so, yeah, we had both my son and my daughter here. And of course,
Nice.
the three grandsons.
Oh, that sounds like a very merry holiday.
I should tell this just before we got started today. You did ask me, what were my top three things that I enjoyed most about Christmas, and my answer was Joel, Zachary, and Ian, who of course are my grandsons.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, it was good. We had a very nice time.
That's a nice, heartwarming response. I'm glad that you had a very magical holiday.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. I mean, typically our family, and I'm sure many other families, would all get together, and that just wasn't to be.
Yeah.
We sort of took our turn as families going to visit my mother, so that she, over the course of probably about a week, she eventually got to see everybody in small groups kind of thing, as opposed to all descending on her house for a couple of days. So that made it a little bit different.
Right.
But you know what? We're making it through. We're making it through.
Right. And I think that, we're certainly missing the grandiose holidays where we do have everyone together at the same time. But I do think that there is something kind of nice and different that having to kind of do that trickle holiday and spread it out a little bit.
Yep.
It gives you kind of some more one-on-one time. Maybe you don't get to see everyone you want to at the same time, but to have that one-on-one time, I felt this year for myself, it was really nice to have those moments with many different people. And it, I don't know, I think it made it a nice holiday.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you have to have the attitude that you're going to make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say, is if you keep that attitude, then yeah, you can make things quite enjoyable. Yeah.
Gotta roll with it.
Yep.
It is what it is. So you might as well enjoy and make the best of
Well,
things.
this is it. I mean, I totally understand people's frustration. I mean, even today, as we're recording this tonight, we're on the eve of yet another shutdown, right? And it's supposed to happen at midnight tonight. And so we took the opportunity to go for dinner with friends because you can't go out to a restaurant now for at least another 3 weeks or a month or whatever that's going to be. But we just took the attitude that, hey, this is rather than see it as a terrible thing that we're not going to be able to do, we just took tonight as a great opportunity to sit down with friends we haven't seen for a little while and reconnect and make the most of tonight's dinner. So
it's a great attitude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, in the past, you have typically spent your New Year's with the Rydells performing, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is a couple of years now. Of course, this has happened to us. Very, very strange for me, to be honest with you, as a musician, as a member of a band, to not be on stage somewhere, counting down midnight in front of a big crowd. It's just very, very different. And of course, it's the same all over. We watched, Facebook, just in the week leading up to a New Year's, just event after event, canceled, and lots of friends and different musician friends and whatnot that I know, all in that same scenario. So yeah, it's very different. But I there again, we made the best of it. We had the we had the grandkids sitting around and they were all excited to stay up till midnight, of course. I mean, they are like 7, 10, and 12. So,
that's quite the treat.
Yeah. The idea of being up till midnight was a bit of a big thing. And sure enough, we sat and watched some movies with them and had a bit of a good laugh. And then, about 11:30 or so, we found Times Square in New York,
right?
And the ball dropped there, and so we, they watched the counter in the bottom corner of the screen as the time counted down, and they were excited. When we got to 20, started at the top of their lungs to count down to New Year's. So yeah, you make the most of it, and you turn it into something that, we hope that even in the midst of everything else is going on, those are the kind of things that grandkids will remember.
They will remember that forever. And it'll be like 20 years from now, they'll be like, I remember that COVID New Year's.
Yeah, there you go.
With my grandparents.
Yep, exactly.
And Rob, if you were playing in your band at the time, it never would have happened.
Well, this is true. because, obviously we're playing at venues that are, there's no kids at these venues. And I've played many different scenarios for New Year's Eve. But it was, you're quite right. If I had been on stage somewhere, then I would have missed out on counting down with my grandsons. And
so would they.
Absolutely. So
next New Year's is not necessarily guaranteed for anybody, right?
Absolutely not.
So
absolutely not.
No, this year I'm starting to get all philosophical.
Look at you.
I don't know. I'm just really in this mindset because I hear so much frustration and I get it. People are so frustrated. However,
absolutely.
We have to look, if I can be philosophical for just a second.
Go for it.
You really have to look bigger picture.
Yeah.
Bigger picture. You're part of history right now. This is something that 50 years from now, people are going to be studying. Like I'm a history teacher by nature, right? That's my first teaching was being a history teacher.
Of course.
So when you're part of something so big like this, you don't necessarily know it, or I guess you know it, but you don't realize the impact of it while you're right in the middle of it.
No.
Right? When you're in the eye of the hurricane, you don't necessarily see the storm, right? But years from now, you'll be able to look back and say, man, that COVID New Year's or that little period of time when it was COVID time, you're making memories that people
Yep.
will be listening to. And you can go kicking and screaming all you want into,
Sure.
being wrangled into this and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
fighting against it, or you can just say, this is how it is right now.
Yep.
And make the best out of this situation and find some fun, find some peace.
Sure.
Quit,
Sure.
I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but quit crying about stuff you can't change at this point. This is how it is.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And
Thank
look,
you for
even
coming to my TED Talk.
well, look at even how much I'd say sort of the corporate we have looked back at what happened in, like, was it 1918? The last time they had a terrible outbreak.
Or like the Spanish flu?
Yeah. And there's pictures of people wearing masks, and they didn't think anything of it, and blah, blah, blah. And you're right. One of these days we'll look back and think, there really wasn't as big a deal as we, and certainly, as you say, if we take the time to make it something, whether it's memorable or just enjoyable, or spend time with those who can't or wouldn't otherwise.
Like, I'm not trying to discount. I know there's people who are struggling because there's jobs that are closing, and there's, like our friends who are, like you were saying, restaurant owners are closing again. Not trying to dismiss any of that.
No.
But there's nothing we can do about that.
Well, and I think what kind of, to go off of what you're saying, Laurie, is like, yeah, I agree. Like, it has been, and it's all relative too, right? Like, some people have really thrived over the last 2 years. Some people have really struggled. And I think both sides of that come with an opportunity to reflect and to find moments to appreciate, even if it is difficult. Like, even if you're having the hardest time of your life right now, I'm sure there was something out of the past 2 years that have helped you grow as a person, because you can't strengthen yourself without, callousing your skin a bit and having those hard days to appreciate the good days. So I think that the world has prompted everyone the opportunity to have that consideration on both sides of it. And I'm really grateful that, like we said in our last episode, of having this outlet of Out for Coffee and this time with you guys has certainly made it an easier year for me. I know 2020 was kind of, we're all trying to figure out what's going on. It was exciting. Last year was just a blur. And when I think about what actually happened, I can't really write much down on a piece of paper of saying this is what I actually accomplished, but Out for Coffee was something that we accomplished, and I'm very proud of that.
Yep.
And I just wish that the year had a little bit more excitement, because, like, so Kevin and I had a vacation booked to Europe in the fall of 2020. So when it first hit, we're like, nah, not happening. We'll do it another day. Things were looking decent in the fall. So we booked, Kevin booked a surprise birthday trip for me, which is coming up later this month. And we're going to go to Montreal. Hey, no, it's not happening. Everything's closed down. The restaurants are closed in Ontario.
No.
There's nothing to do. So I think I just need to stop booking vacations. That's the key behind all this, I think.
Yeah. Well, maybe until we know that there's more, like, a for sure stability in any of that. And I know it was looking good, but I don't know. It's tough. This is a tough time for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
And, like, again, I mean, I don't mean to be dismissive of people's hardships, but this is happening regardless.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm trying to make the best of this. Is the year I took off to do fun things.
Right.
And I'm not doing fun things. I'm at home. I'm at home, and I got bitten by the zombie, but I'm not crying about it, because it is what it is. It happened. It wasn't the Christmas I was really looking forward to, but it's the Christmas I got. So, and I'm okay with that.
Well, and I think it's all about taking away what you can put into it. And I think something that we can put into this next year is some goal setting and some resolutions and some things to consider about.
Oh, resolutions. All right. Let's
okay. You guys are going to start into New Year's resolutions. Then I'm going to leave you on your own.
Oh no! Do you not have a resolution you care to share?
That's just
his resolution is trying to figure out how to shake us off. And
I've never been good at that. I've done, like, way too many New Year's now, and it's just not worth it for me to even think about
Is it
coming
like
up with a resolution, because that's just doesn't happen. I don't know. Doesn't happen.
like the follow through doesn't happen, or like you've never made a resolution?
It's probably just the follow through. I mean, I'm sure I have sat down and said, okay, I'm gonna do better at this or whatever this coming year, but yeah,
Where's the law that says you have to try and do better at things?
I don't
What
know.
about if your resolution could be like, I want to be worse? I want to be a worse.
You know, I'm really good at this thing. Let's just take myself down a notch for a second. And
I'm going to see how much worse I can get as a person. That's a resolution, Rob. And that's one
there you go.
any one of us could stick to.
Well, I suppose.
2022.
Anyway.
Done.
Okay.
Cheers, Rob.
I'm leaving you to it. Talk to you later.
Cheers. Lori, I feel like you have this mentality of are you a resolution maker? I feel like you are.
I used to be.
Okay. What changed?
The lack of follow through, or the not just the lack of follow through, but the zeal. I don't know. I was a little overzealous in I want to do this, and this. And then, 3 weeks into it, when I'm like, well, that didn't work. And you feel even worse about yourself when you don't do it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more like not what can I change and what can I, I don't know. I've always been like, well, this year I'm going to go back to the gym and I'm going to do it. If I do, I do. I have a gym membership, baby steps. I have the membership. I reactivated it. Gyms are closed again as of tomorrow. So, whatever.
You were gonna go, but
I was gonna go. But I think it's more like for me, I'm just going to try and do better this year. And that just in general. And maybe have a little bit more of my own philosophy where, hey, it is the way it is. Like, just roll with stuff.
So you're saying
I can get worked up, Mike. I don't know if you know this about me, but I can get pretty worked up about some things.
Yeah, the cigarettes in the drive-thru.
Oh my God.
We're going to bring that up forever. So what you're saying is that maybe perhaps resolution shouldn't be a task, but maybe a mentality.
Yeah, like just align your chakras, man. Seriously, just get your shit in order. And from the inside out, quit thinking I got to do this task. That it shouldn't be task oriented as far as I'm concerned. It should just be more, today should be better than yesterday. And tomorrow should be a little bit better than today.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions of like how maybe you could do that?
3 words.
Okay.
Get over yourself.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. I'm going to coin that. I'm going to be wearing Get Over Yourself t-shirts. I'm going to be going on the speaking circuit. I'm going to be booking TED Talks. That's it. Brene Brown, she's lovely and everything, but she can just sit down because it's my turn. Get over yourself.
Move over, Brene.
Yeah. And you know what? And I don't mean that in a jerk kind of way. I'm like, yeah, everything's all nice and saucy and fun and, like positive and uplifting. Yay, Tony Robbins and all that stuff. However, let's be real about some stuff. I'm going to sound like an absolute jerk right now, but let's just be real about things. Nobody gives a shit if you got fat arms. Okay. Nobody cares if your hair's a mess today. Nobody cares that your teeth aren't straight or perfectly white. Get over yourself. Nobody actually cares enough about, and I don't want this to sound awful. People love you, but nobody cares enough about that stuff to even give it a second thought. So you shouldn't either.
Well, and I've heard you speak of get over yourself before, and I know what you mean. Like, it does kind of sound a little harsh in a way, but you're very much right. Everyone is too worried about what it is they're putting out.
Yes.
That they're not being genuine. They're not sharing in genuine moments. They're not themselves. And because they're so worried about what other people are going to say. So either they're doing things different than they might, or they're not doing things at all.
Yes.
Because even like sharing a moment together with a photo with friends or something like that. And, somebody's worried about, how they looked in that photo when clearly it's a great photo of everyone having fun. Nobody's zooming right in on your face and being like, well, her smile wasn't quite as big as the other people's. So it's kind of like, It's just enjoy yourself, right? So I see what you mean by kind of get over yourself, because the moment that we stop, we lose ego, which is like, oh man, so many people could take a lesson in reducing their ego a bit and stop worrying about what this means to this person and start just enjoying yourself, because then everyone else around you is going to be able to enjoy themselves with you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authentic, genuine, all these wonderful things that they're gone the second you start getting in your head. And stop me if I've shared this before, but I auditioned, well, I was going to audition years ago when Big Brother Canada came. Did I share this before?
No.
Okay, so Big Brother
This
Canada.
is new for me.
Okay, so
Okay.
Kevin and I loved Big Brother. We'd always watch it when it was in the States when we lived in Toronto. And then I moved to Woodstock. And shortly after I moved to Woodstock, they announced Big Brother Canada. And I was thrilled. I was so excited. I'm like, there's 100% I'm auditioning for this. There's no way I'm not. I had people sending me the audition information to be like, yo, are you thinking of this? I guess people knew I liked it. And I set up a camera. I took a quiet little room at home, and I had a little talking points list of like, okay, introduce myself and da. I kid you not, it's an hour of me trying to just get the first 3 sentences of introducing myself out. I couldn't handle it. I am much different now. Clearly, this is a little bit more comfortable for me. But there was a really difficult time in my life where there's something so intimidating about the camera recording every little thing I was doing, that I was going to watch it over and I was going to pick it apart. So if I stumble on a word, I'm going to pick that apart when I watch it. So why am I doing this? I'm just going to start over again. I think, the video might still exist. I'm obviously not going to put an hour video out there of me stumbling on my words.
I'd watch it.
I bet you would. But I'm telling you, man, Mike from, what was that, 6-7 years ago is a much different Mike than he is today. And I think a lot of that has to do with my comfort level of speaking in front of people, obviously. And I've had a lot of opportunities to do that, but especially over this last year, and hearing all this, get over yourself and just have fun and enjoy yourself, has really allowed me to stop giving such a shit and just start going for it.
I'm so glad to hear
and I'm so
that,
much
Mike,
happier.
But I'm glad to hear that you're not the same person you were 7 years ago, because if you were, that would be a huge problem. If you don't grow, and like 7 years is a long time. Like
it really is. And it actually didn't
in that amount of time.
You'd hope.
You would hope. But how many people, if you can really sit back and think about the people you know in your life, how many people still present themselves the same way that they did 10 years ago? I know some.
I actually know quite a few.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little message in here to everyone, including ourselves, of like, keep challenging ourselves and push ourselves out of our comfort zone. I know it's called a comfort zone for a reason. That's because we're comfortable. Why would I ever move from there? Well, you're never going to try new things, and you're always going to be the person you were if you don't get hurt, if you don't push outside those limits and feel vulnerable and share that vulnerability with people. You're not going to grow. So that's my challenge to our folks. Push yourself outside your comfort zones, do something different.
And get over yourself.
But
that's what I like about this show, Mike, is that there's, even just for me personally, there's so much stuff that I have disclosed to whomever happens to be watching. I don't know. Because what's the difference?
Right.
Honestly, what's the difference? I think about that time that I told the story about me falling down the stairs and got covered in cookies and chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And the most upsetting part of that whole thing was that there was nobody there to see it happen.
Right.
Not that I'm some kind of crazy person who's just looking for. No.
Not at all.
I think sometimes there's some beauty in connecting with somebody else's follies.
Right.
Like if someone can hear a story about me, like I just told everybody that my damn DVD player has been unplugged for a year.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. I don't know if you should have shared that. I'm just kidding.
Sure. Because guess what? There's somebody out there who's been like, oh my God, yeah, that happened to me. Maybe not for a year.
I bet there's somebody at home right now being like, I didn't check to see if it was plugged in. And they're going to check their DVD player now and finding out it was just not plugged in.
And now we can laugh about it. If I can just be a cautionary tale for people henceforth, then that's fine. That's my That's my lot in life. That's my job, is to help people pass their own follies, because at least you're not her. Oh my God.
You're a guiding light, Lori. You're a
Well,
guiding light.
I'm something. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like the new year is a time to reflect on that kind of thing.
Right.
Who are you as a person? And I'm so excited actually about 2022.
What are you
Even
most excited about?
it's almost like I get 2 first days every year. Like there's the first day of school,
Right.
which is the first day of a whole school year, which
Right.
obviously straddles 2 calendar years, right?
Right.
So that's a new beginning. That's the first day of that year. But then halfway through that year, I get a first day of a calendar year,
Oh, so 2
right?
new beginnings.
2 new beginnings. And there's nothing better than a fresh start.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a clean slate?
Right.
And some things should be left in last year. If they
It's true.
belong there, leave them and just pick up your stuff, move into the new year, take what you can, learn what you can, be who you can be. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm sorry.
What are 3 things you're carrying? What are 3 things you're carrying with you from last year to this year?
3 things I'm carrying with me.
I
I mean,
Give me what you
besides
got.
17 pounds worth of shortbread cookies, I'm carrying that from last year into this year. Man, I made cookies.
Yeah, I'm supposed to pick some up.
Yeah, you were.
I wasn't coming over your house to pick those up.
No, my house is, nobody wanted to come to my house for a while.
No.
So I'm all good now, though.
Change.
I'm all good now.
Yeah,
But I'll make you some fresh cookies. How about that?
Thank you. I would love that. But was there any lessons or anything you learned between the pandemic, between having some time off work? Was there anything that became a valuable life experience for you last year that
Yes.
you know is going to change who you are next year?
Yes, actually. Sometimes you don't get what you want.
It's true. Okay.
And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow for people. But that doesn't necessarily mean the game is over. It
Right.
just means the game has changed.
Right.
So you don't necessarily get everything you want, but sometimes, and you don't find out till much later, that you didn't necessarily want everything you wanted.
Ah, very interesting.
Right?
Mhm.
Again, I'm a person who has gone from minor, oh my God, I'm freaking out, to trying to step back for a second and just look at, oops, sorry. Here, I'll
Again?
set that down so I'm not slamming stuff all over the place. Yeah. Sorry. Lost my train of thought. No, here we go. I've gone from the panic of, oh my God, this is happening right now, and what am I gonna do about it, to hold on, take a minute, breathe through this for a second. Let's look at the big picture.
Right.
I think sometimes if you can get out of your own head and out of the minute that this is happening and what's going to cause trouble right now, oh my God, and just think big picture.
Right.
You can squash a lot of anxiety, a lot of doubt, a lot of all those negative things just by taking a damn break and a breath.
Yeah.
So this past year, I've been afforded the opportunity to take a literal break.
Right.
To prioritize.
Right.
I don't think enough people take time to really think about what they need to do and what they want to do, because they're so stuck with what they have to do.
Well,
they're
also
stuck in the mindset of have to.
Well, and also when you're in the middle of it, kind of what you're saying of taking that moment to breathe, it's like everything is literally right here. How are you supposed to read a book when it's right here and you got 4 books around you, when you literally just take a step back, take a breath, so that you can read each book individually and then decide what it is you want to do with this information and how you're going to move forward. And I had a great opportunity when I worked at the theater that it would be so chaotic. At times I'd be producing 3 different shows and it would be very much that, like a million books flying around my head. And you have to step back and do that big picture look at it. And yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail your story there, but I needed to flush that through my own head because there was a lot in there that I needed to take out of that too.
And so you see that, like, situationally with that production thing, how that's so beneficial to be able to just pull out for just a second.
Yeah.
When that's happening in your mind a lot, that's not a situation. I mean, that's your state of being. And
Right.
you can't stay like that forever.
And you're exhausted by the end of the day because
Yeah.
you haven't taken the time to properly pasture all those things. So then you come home and then you're like, well, that was too overwhelming. So you shut it all off by falling into Instagram or something that is I'm considering an unhealthy coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Of like fake life, which I get because I am one of those people. I do go on my socials and I do escape from life from it.
Dude,
But
I
there's a
live
difference
on
between taking a
Facebook.
moment.
You know
do.
that.
There's
I
posts
know.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it because that's what I have to look forward to
Yeah.
when I come home from work and I sit down and do that. But to have that kind of moment to myself and my socials, but I need to step away from it. And then I need to look back at all those pieces that were flying around earlier today. And then I reorganize them.
Yeah.
And people do that through meditation. And there's a lot of ways people do that. I literally just need to divide work and home life. And then I take a beat to organize my thoughts a little bit better. And I've found that over the past couple of years, my anxiety has been a lot better because I'm processing these things a little differently.
Yeah.
Because it was so easy to feel overwhelmed. And I realized it's because I wasn't processing anything. I was taking all the from life and I was taking all the at socials and I was cramming them all together and wondering why I had anxiety all the time. Well, it's probably because I wasn't processing anything.
Well, and think of our young people who don't necessarily have the life experience or the cognitive wherewithal at this point to be able to make that separation and to do that kind of taking stock. We got a lot of kids in a lot of trouble, I think, mentally these days. And
we do.
And as much as I love my Facebook and my social media, I'm going to come right out and say that I think it's not necessarily the healthiest thing for young folks who,
No.
I mean, I'm a discerning adult and I get sucked into it, right? As a discerning adult. And I am an adult, believe it or not, everyone. I actually qualify to be an adult. Surprise.
Headline, Laurie's actually an adult.
Actually, chronologically, at least. I mean, legally, I do qualify. If I get charged with murder, I would not be under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. I mean, I am a legal adult.
You've looked into it?
I've looked into it. Yeah. But see, you know what, Mike? That's another thing. Wait a minute. How'd we get there? No, about just reprioritizing, right? Remember you asked me what I brought in from last year.
Right.
Last year, when we talked about the first day of school, our first day of school episode, I was going back to college and I was getting my certificate in criminal psychology and behavior. That lasted one day, everyone. I don't know if we updated you on that or not, but I looked at the syllabus and I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Why not? Like what inspired you to make a change?
Because it was stressing me out.
Okay.
I looked at the syllabus. I looked at the fact that they wanted like 9 essays or papers or a combination of the two by December. And I'm thinking, this is something that I've chosen to do for fun. I don't necessarily need to be imposing deadlines like this upon myself when I've taken a year away from crazy stressors to do things that I need to do for my own brain. And I thought, you know, all these things that they're talking about, I have books on in my own house. I could probably teach that course. So I thought, I'm going to withdraw from that. I'm going to find something else to do with my time. And it turns out I am actually registered to start later this month back at Cornell for another certificate program.
Look at you. What's the program?
Public relations strategy.
Oh, that's going to help us out, eh?
There you go. Can I write it off, please?
We'll work on that business license, don't worry.
Yeah. But you know, it was one of those things that I could have said that, you know what, I signed up for it, I'm just going to do it. But the higher self was like, wait a minute, why are you stressing yourself out about something? You don't have to do this.
Right.
Like,
it's not necessary.
No, like I'm not somebody who just sign up and then quit, sign up and quit. But if it's not serving my higher purpose and it's just going to cause me stress, it would be dumb to just stick it out for the sake of sticking it out.
Right. Now, I commend you for finding opportunities to grow and think in different ways and challenge yourself. I think that time is a very precious thing. And knowing that your time this year looks different than it has any other year before with having some time off work. So I think that, if life were normal and things were going on and you were setting these goals for yourself, and um, I would challenge you to continue to step outside your comfort zone and do those things. But I do think that right now you're kind of in this golden spot of it's the winter of Laurie, not the summer of George. And
Yes.
I think that this is a great time for you to take and there's a lesson in just doing that yourself. You learn that about yourself and what your limitations were. And I think that is a very important takeaway from all that too. So I think that's very cool that you're taking another Cornell course. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
How about you? Thank you. What's going on for you from last year to this year? What do you
last year to this year? I'm bringing in a little bit more confidence this year.
Okay.
A little bit more appreciation for, like, I've always had a lot of respect for the people around me, my circles, my networks of people, whether professionally through work or socially through the theater and stuff like that. I've always had a lot of really wonderful relationships around me. But over this last year, I've really understood the weight of what a community like that means for somebody, the support that I've received from people, the friends I've made. Being all locked up, I have met some pretty amazing new people over the last year that I'm grateful to now say they're in my world. And I just think that I needed that perspective, because when you're not around those people, like a lot of the people from years ago, I wasn't around last year. So you really miss those people. Yeah. And then the people that you have had an opportunity to work with, I think has given me a chance to appreciate those. So I think just community, which is kind of like a cheesy answer, but in all reality, that's what got me to where I am today. And I think that's what's going to get me to where I need to go later. So why not appreciate that and understand the weight of that and build on it? So those are a couple things that I really respected from last year that I think are going to shape my coming year.
Is there anything that you're going to try and not do this year?
Spill coffee on my laptop.
Why I oughta.
What am I going to try not to do this year? I didn't do it last year. I'm going to say this is probably more of a positive side of things, is not bite off more than I can chew, because last year there wasn't really much to do. There was a lot of let's bite it. Oh, but now we got to spit it out because the plans have changed, and you keep like starting and stopping projects and stuff. And that's probably not going to change in the near future. But now it's like, I at least know that to understand what I want to bite off before I chew it. And if I'm biting it, to know that it might be chewy for a while before we can digest it. So one thing I am really excited to do is with our senior company of Stages, which is our youth theater program at the theater. I'm going to be producing their production. I don't know if I can say the title of it just yet, because I don't know if we've officially acquired the rights. So stay tuned on the show. But right now we have plans to put on a performance either at the end of May or sometime in June for our high school kids, and to produce a show. So that's getting all the props, all the set costumes, and really kind of building the vision of the show that the director and the cast bring forward, was something I did when I worked at the theater. And it's something I'm very excited to be a part of again this year.
Excellent. I look forward to it. I love the senior company shows.
Oh, they're so good. People think, oh, High School Musical, I guess I'll go to a High School Musical. Oh, no. Think again. These shows are pretty incredible. We've got some very incredibly talented young people in our community who very much need their artistic outlets. So hopefully we can get this thing rolling.
Let's hope we're back up and running for things. Things.
Just for something to do. And even like the early stages of producing, like I've had to reach out to some friends of mine to see if they'd be interested in helping to volunteer and participate in building this production. And it's been really nice to reach out to our friends and kind of be like, the gang's getting back together, you in?
Yay.
And to see people get excited about building together has been really, really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Rob's given us the big T.
The big T, time's up. Well, on the topic of resolutions, I think that the three of us are really crummy at setting resolutions and following through with them. But I think we've decided here it's because we're going about it all wrong. We're very task oriented, and we need to not set our New Year's resolutions to tasks, but to mentalities.
Yeah.
So there's our takeaway. But I will say, collectively, we all did set a resolution. It was not verbalized, but last year we set a resolution to do this show, and look at it, we're thriving. So as long as we don't say it out loud, then we're going to be just fine with meeting our resolutions.
This is our 26th episode, which means this is the episode that concludes our first full year of episodes.
So we can say, I hope everyone had a wonderful year with Out for Coffee. And here's a coffee cup cheers to an absolutely new year with Out for Coffee. Bye, guys.
2022.
Hey.
Uh-oh. I'm spilling. Uh-oh.
Oh, don't put it down.
Okay.
Anyways, we will see everyone on our next episode. Thank you very much for joining us for a fun-filled year of shenanigans and interesting topics. And we look forward to another one with you all. But until then, we will see you soon. Thanks for coming out for coffee, guys.
With Mike and Laurie.
Bye, guys.
Do you have questions, comments, or ideas for a future show? Reach out to Mike and Laurie on their social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or email them at mikeandlauriesocials@gmail.com.